All right, thank you for joining us today for this episode of 15 Minutes with a Senior. I have Beau here with me. Beau, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Beau Haynes, and I'm a senior at Amarillo High School right now. I work two jobs. I'm working at Tascosa Country Club, and I also work as a diesel mechanic for Draconian Performance. I hope to attend Texas A&M University next year, and as a mechanical or aerospace engineer. I haven't really decided yet. I'm leaning more towards aerospace, but that's what I will be doing. Hopefully we'll get to go there in the fall. Well, who knows? But
Right.
for right now, that's the plan. So yeah, that's about it.
What has made you decide aerospace engineering?
Well, honestly, what happened was I was a junior in high school, and you know how they have those tests where it tells you like your career or what you should do or whatever. Well, okay, so my whole plan for like my entire life, since I was like a little kid, I wanted to be a mechanical engineer forever. And I always wanted to go to Texas A&M because that's where my dad went, and I was raised on Texas A&M.
Yeah,
and
of course, because that's
all
what
the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was going to be a mechanical engineer, and then I took all those tests when I was a junior, and every single time mechanical was like my third or fourth one, and aerospace was always number one every single time. And that was kind of crazy because I've always had like a huge fascination with airplanes, and my granddad is actually like this huge pilot. It's a big deal, and he's been flying for like 50 years, and he's always been super involved with airplanes and like satellites and stuff. And I've always thought that stuff is so cool, and I'm a really math orientated kind of person. So I think that's just what I want to do.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I've been using this as a time for our church to get to know our seniors, and I've been wanting to give the students an opportunity to talk about people that have made particular influences on their life. And so as you go off to A&M, who are the people that you'll think back on, and teachings or examples that you'll carry with you?
The very first person that comes to mind is my dad. I love my dad. He's always been the number one role model for me. I mean, me and him, we've done everything together since I was a little kid. And I mean, that includes hunting, fishing, working on cars, just hanging out together, eating lunch every Saturday. Like, he's always been my best friend for as long as I can remember. So he's going to be my number one influence. And also, of course, my mom, mainly my dad though, and my brother too. My brother, he's been a huge influence on me. He's always been there for me and everything. So those are the people that I'm going to keep close to me, and make sure that, make sure they're having a good time. So
as you look back on your schooling days, would you have advice what advice would you have for junior high, those coming into junior high, because that's just a brand new ball game. And then also as for those junior hires going into high school, would you have advice for them?
I would say I always look back from now when I was like in junior high or whatever. I always look back and I'm like, man, I wish I would have been more involved. Not that I wasn't involved, I played football and everything, but I wish I'd been more outgoing. I wish I had taken the time to make those friends and to involve myself. I mean, it's a very easy thing to do, but it's something that I didn't do and I regret not doing. Also, I would really advise doing your work. I mean, schoolwork is it's not number one, but it's very important. And the more time that you put into it, the better, the less stress you're gonna have, the less anxiety you're gonna have. It's a very simple thing to do. It takes 30 minutes, an hour every night to do all your work. And I'm a procrastinator, and I never do my work. I mean, I do my work, but I don't do it in a timely manner.
Right.
So that's something that I wish I had done.
Yeah. Well, college will be a good test of that as well.
Yeah.
Your time, and And your advice there, I mean, that's something I remember most is, I mean, I love our, Canyon High, we do a high school musical,
Mm,
and I love going to it. And that's one thing, like, I never tried out for it because I was too nervous, and now I look back and
exactly.
go, what did I have to lose by trying
Yeah.
out for it, and yeah, that's definitely something that I look back on and wish I would
Yeah.
have done more. It's just kind of put myself out there, and you go through high school once, and to try to enjoy that.
Yeah. It's like, why not? What are you going to lose? There's nothing to lose. It's high school. Do it.
Right.
Right.
uh how would you describe yourself, and is that different from how people uh from people's first impressions of you? What surprises them as they get to know you better?
Okay. Well, it's very easy for me. I'm actually a very, very talkative guy. I like going out. I like hanging out with my friends. I like talking. I like being social. Um, Something that differs from when you first meet me is I'm probably a very shy person and I don't talk a lot. And it takes me a while to get to trust and to know someone. But I mean, once I trust and I do so know someone, then I'm a very talkative guy. I mean, it's kind of like most shy people are, or how I like to think they are, is they don't talk a lot at first, but then the cliche, they talk a lot more after, and that really is me. I mean, I'll shake your hand and I'll introduce myself and I'll be nice and I'll show my manners, but I don't think I'll go out and start a conversation with you and whatever, just
Right.
because I'm shy. So
Right. Right.
right. But I mean, once you get to know me, that's not it at all. So
So throughout this virus, we've been isolated, which you may be less so because you were working, and things like that. But I think we have had more time to kind of take an inventory of ourselves. Is there anything that's kind of been revealed to you, or that you've learned about yourself during this time?
you know, during school, I'm a very anxious person and I'm stressed out all the time. You can ask anyone that knows me. I'm a very stressed out person. I do not handle stress well and anxiety well. Well, during this quarantine, I was quarantined for 2 weeks. I didn't leave my house for 2 weeks, and during that time, I realized that it's a very easy thing to just chill out and just relax and just take a second for yourself. I've learned that I can do that. I didn't know I could do that because I've
Mhm.
never been able to do that before, but I've learned to do that, and it's honestly made everything so much easier. School easier, work easier. It's nice.
Has your view of the future changed because of this pandemic? Once whatever normal looks like, how do you think that that'll be different once we start reopening things back up?
You know, I hope it's not any different because I liked the way things were. But of course, when you have something this monumental, it's going to change how the way we live. You can look back on history and you can see that it happens time and time again. When something like this happens, everything is completely different after it's over. So I would like to think that I can just go on with my daily life as soon as everything opens back up and everything's go back to normal. But I just have a feeling that everything is just going to be just a little bit different. People are going to act different towards each other. I mean, the way that we do business is going to not be the same. So it's just going to be something that we have to adapt to.
Yeah. So through all this, so there obviously has been some changes. What are some positive changes that you've seen that's been brought about because of this that you hope stays in place uh, whenever we reach our new normal?
Okay. Well, I work at Tascosa Country Club and I'm outside service. I deal with member relations and, just talking to people, making sure they're having a good day. And, before this, everybody, you just kind of do the normal thing that you would do with everyone else. You just kind of like, yeah, good day. How was yours? Whatever, just making a normal conversation. But come to realize that this isolation and these quarantining and everything, I feel like it's made people want to have more conversations. and be nicer, honestly. And working out there in the past, I can't even tell you, 3 weeks has been completely different than it has been any time before. People are so much nicer. They talk to me, they give me tips. And I think that's a good thing to have those people interacting and being nice to each other and going outside and just making the best of what we have. I think that's a very good thing that I've seen.
How do you imagine telling future generations, whenever this is talked about in the, in textbooks and things like that, how do you think that you'll describe these times to others later on down the line?
It's gonna be weird because they're not gonna be there to understand what it was actually like. And I'm gonna sit there and tell my grandchildren, like, yeah, we couldn't go into the stores. We had to wear a mask if we wanted to go into a store. They'd kick you out or whatever. I think it's gonna be difficult for them to understand, but I don't think that it has changed our lives so significantly much that it's impossible for people to understand. I think people will be able to, just be there like, yeah, okay, I understand that you had to, quarantine, and I understand things changed. I don't think it's so drastically different that it's unexplainable, but it definitely will be weird telling someone that we had to sit in our houses for, a month, not being able to leave, like that's gonna be a little weird.
Yeah, I think that'll be a change or a surprise is how long we did it.
Yeah, a long time.
People have been like, oh, a week or two is fine, but we're approaching 2 months now on this.
Yeah.
I do think that that'll be a change or a surprise.
Yeah. And at first people took it as like a joke, like, oh, this is kind of fun. And now it's like, I want to be out of my house.
Right. Right. All right. So last question I have for you. If you could meet one character from the Bible, who would that be and why?
I think I would want to meet Jonah from Jonah and the Whale.
Okay.
I think that his story, it's so interesting to me. I just want to know about it. What was it like being inside of a whale? What was it like having God be that angry at you, and you're just kind of sitting there at his will, I think, and then he goes back and he does what God told him to, and I think that moment where he decided to go do that, I think that was just like a light switch turning on. And I want to know what that felt like to him. I think it would be so cool to be inside his head and understand what he was going through.
Great. Well, thank you, Beau, for your time today, and I appreciate you kind of letting us have a glimpse into your life, into your future, and how this pandemic has affected you. But I do want you to know that we as a congregation, we're praying for you, and we're excited to see the good things that are going to happen for you. And so thank you for your time today.
Well, thank you, Chris. Thank you, our congregation. I really appreciate everything that you do, that everybody does for us and for me. It means a lot to me, and I can't wait to move on to the next chapter.